Have you ever wondered why certain people naturally draw others to them? Today, we're diving into 5 distinct personality types that people find absolutely magnetic. By discovering which type matches your natural tendencies, you'll unlock your most confident and charismatic self. But here's the catch. Each type comes with specific pitfalls that could actually push people away. Let's explore these types and learn how to avoid their common traps. The magnetic jester. First up is the magnetic jester. If this resonates with you, your superpower is making people laugh. Take Ryan Reynolds, for instance. His quick wit and timing aren't just entertaining. They create instant connections. Whether he's promoting a movie or doing an interview, he has this uncanny ability to make everyone feel like they're in on the joke. But here's where it gets interesting. The magnetic jester isn't always about being the class clown. Look at Bill Murray. His humor often comes with a dash of dry wit and sarcasm. "I only get one chance to make a terrible first impression," he once quipped at an awards show, perfectly demonstrating how self-deprecating humor can be just as effective as traditional jokes. However, there's a crucial pitfall to watch out for. Just like Jimmy Carr learned after some controversial jokes backfired,
when people talk about the Holocaust, they talk about the tragedy and horror of 6 million Jewish lives being lost to the Nazi war machine. But they never mention the thousands of gypsies that were killed by the Nazis. No one ever wants to talk about that because no one ever wants to talk about the positives.
You need to be careful not to cross the line between playful teasing and genuine hurt. The key is making sure your humor lifts people up rather than tears them down. Think about how Robert Downey Jr. handles interviews. He'll make jokes, but they often celebrate his co-stars rather than diminish them. The energy catalyst. Moving on to our second type, the energy catalyst. Jennifer Lawrence embodies this perfectly. When she enters a room, the entire atmosphere shifts. These are the people who can transform a mundane moment into something memorable, simply by being themselves. Their enthusiasm is absolutely contagious. Watch how she turns even award show mishaps, like tripping on stairs, into charming moments that make everyone feel more at ease. It's not about being perfect, it's about being perfectly present in every moment. Energy catalysts often break social norms without even realizing it. They're the ones giving bear hugs instead of handshakes, starting impromptu dance parties at formal events, or turning a simple story into a full performance. Think of Will Smith in interviews. He doesn't just tell stories, he relives them with sound effects, gestures, and full-body demonstrations. When he describes a scene from a movie, you're not just hearing about it, you're experiencing it through his animated gestures and infectious energy. Take Jack Black as another perfect example. Whether he's on a talk show or at a movie premiere, he brings this irresistible playfulness that makes everyone around him light up. He might suddenly break into song, do an impromptu dance, or create sound effects that transform a simple anecdote into an entertaining performance. What makes him especially effective is how he pulls others into his orbit. He doesn't just perform, he invites everyone to join in his enthusiasm. The pitfall? Sometimes this overwhelming energy can come across as attention-seeking or exhausting. The key is learning to read the room and match your energy to the situation. Look at how Hugh Jackman does it. He can switch from high-energy showman to thoughtful conversationalist depending on what the moment calls for. He's mastered what we call energy modulation, the ability to dial his natural enthusiasm up or down based on the social context. During Broadway performances, he's larger than life, but in intimate interviews about serious roles, he can channel that same charismatic energy into focused intensity. The empathy anchor. Our third type is the empathy anchor. If you identify with this type, you're probably like Tom Hanks, someone who makes others feel truly seen and heard. These individuals create deep connections through genuine understanding and emotional availability. They're often the friends people turn to in times of crisis. Meryl Streep exemplifies this type beautifully. Watch any of her interviews. She listens with her entire being, asking thoughtful questions that show she's truly engaged in understanding the other person's experience. It's not just about nodding along, it's about creating a space where others feel safe to be vulnerable. The challenge for empathy anchors is avoiding being overlooked in group settings. While they excel in one-on-one interactions, they might struggle to command attention in larger groups. The solution? Learning to project their natural warmth to a broader audience while maintaining that intimate connection that makes them special. The conviction carrier. Fourth on our list is the conviction carrier. Think of Morgan Freeman. When he speaks, people listen. Not because he's loud or demanding, but because every word carries the weight of absolute certainty. These individuals possess an unwavering sense of purpose that others find magnetic. It's in their posture, their tone, and most importantly, in the thoughtful pauses they take before speaking. They don't rush to fill silence. They let their words land with impact. Look at how Denzel Washington carries himself in interviews. He doesn't just answer questions. He delivers responses with such conviction that even if you disagree, you can't help but respect his perspective. This type of charisma comes from a deep-seated belief in one's values and vision. When he speaks about his craft or his principles, there's no hint of doubt or hesitation. It's this unwavering certainty that makes people lean in and listen. Consider David Attenborough when he speaks about environmental issues. His conviction doesn't come from aggression or volume. It comes from decades of experience and an unshakable commitment to his cause. He speaks with such quiet authority that world leaders and audiences alike can't help but take notice. When he says something needs to be done about climate change, his conviction makes it feel less like an opinion and more like an undeniable truth. The conviction carrier's strength lies in their ability to stand firm in their beliefs without becoming combative. Look at Jane Goodall. She's spent decades advocating for environmental causes with an iron will wrapped in gentle determination. When she speaks about conservation, her conviction is so powerful that it inspires action rather than argument. However, there's a significant pitfall here: the risk of becoming inflexible. The conviction carrier must learn to balance their strong beliefs with openness to other perspectives. Consider how Michelle Obama handles disagreements. She maintains her strong convictions while acknowledging and respecting different viewpoints. She's mastered what we might call flexible strength, the ability to hold firm to core beliefs while remaining open to dialogue and understanding. The authenticity maven. Our final type is the authenticity maven. If this is you, you're like Keanu Reeves, someone who refuses to put on a facade. These individuals might not be the most polished or conventional, but their genuine nature makes them incredibly appealing. They're not trying to impress anyone. They're simply being themselves. Matthew McConaughey perfectly demonstrates this type. Whether he's accepting an Oscar or chatting on a podcast, he remains unapologetically himself. His famous all right, isn't just a catchphrase. It's a reflection of his comfort in his own skin. The challenge here lies in balancing authenticity with social awareness. While being genuine is admirable, you need to ensure you're not steamrolling conversations or making others uncomfortable. Dave Chappelle masters this balance. He stays true to himself while remaining aware of his impact on others. Making it work for you. Remember, these types aren't rigid boxes. They're starting points for understanding your natural strengths. You might find yourself primarily fitting one type while borrowing elements from others. The goal isn't to change who you are, but to enhance your natural tendencies while being aware of potential pitfalls. Look at George Clooney. He combines elements of the magnetic jester and the authenticity maven. Or Emma Stone, who blends the energy catalyst with the empathy anchor. Your charisma will be most powerful when it's authentically yours. Implementation strategy. The key to making the most of your type is starting small. If you're an energy catalyst, begin by bringing your enthusiasm to one-on-one interactions before tackling larger groups. If you're an empathy anchor, practice projecting your warmth while maintaining that genuine connection that makes you special. Think of it like developing a signature style. Just as actors develop their craft over time, you'll want to refine your natural charismatic tendencies while staying true to your core personality. The most magnetic people aren't those who try to be everything to everyone. They're the ones who embrace and enhance their natural style. Remember, the goal isn't to completely transform yourself. It's about understanding your natural strengths and learning to use them more effectively. Whether you're the life of the party like Ryan Reynolds or the quiet force like Keanu Reeves, there's room for your unique brand of charisma in the world. End note. Understanding these 5 types isn't about putting yourself in a box. It's about giving yourself permission to lean into your natural strengths while being mindful of potential pitfalls. Your most magnetic self isn't a carbon copy of someone else. It's the most refined version of who you already are. Think about how Lady Gaga transformed from trying to fit the conventional pop star mold to embracing her unique artistic vision. Or how Steve Jobs didn't try to become a traditional CEO, but instead leaned into his perfectionist visionary nature. These individuals didn't succeed by conforming. They succeeded by understanding their natural inclinations and amplifying them. Consider Awkwafina's journey. She started by trying to fit into traditional acting roles, but found her true success when she embraced her natural humor and authenticity. Your path to magnetic charisma will follow a similar pattern. Maybe you're not the loudest voice in the room like Dwayne Johnson, but you might have that quiet intensity like Keanu Reeves that draws people in just as effectively. The beauty of understanding these types is that it frees you from the pressure to be everything to everyone. You don't need to master every type of charisma. You just need to master your own. Think of it like a musical instrument. While it's impressive to play many, true mastery comes from dedicated practice with the one that resonates most with you. When you embrace your natural type while being aware of its challenges, you'll find yourself connecting with others more authentically and confidently than ever before. Remember, true charisma isn't about changing who you are. It's about becoming more of who you already are. It's about taking those qualities that make you uniquely you and turning up the volume while staying mindful of how your energy affects others. In the end, the most charismatic people aren't those who've learned to put on the best show. They're the ones who've learned to be unapologetically themselves while remaining considerate of others. They've found that sweet spot between authenticity and awareness, between being true to themselves and being attuned to their impact on others. That's the journey you're embarking on, not to become someone else, but to become your most magnetic self.